Arbalest has been upgraded in the recent sandbox update, and that one coincided with the 30th anniversary patch. Well, now Arbalest is an absolute beast, and it's one of the best weapons for Nightfall content in Season of the Lost. Well, today I'm going to check out the Arbalest, why it's top tier, plus put together a Nightfall build for Season of the Lost, and I'll tell you about how to get the Catalyst too, so you're going to be able to run through those Grandmaster Nightfalls with absolute ease. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content, and turn on notifications by hitting that bell. And roughly 98% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games are subscribed, so subscribe today and never miss an update. Well, Arbalest wasn't being used up until recently, and you can tell it's top tier now, so I've started to see LFG posts saying must have Arbalest, and that really is high praise indeed, and reminiscent of the old Galahorn days from Destiny 1. Well, let's remind ourselves about Arbalest very quickly. So it's an exotic, kinetic, linear fusion rifle, and it's got a couple of perks. So compounding force, fires slugs that cause massive damage to elemental shields of enemy combatants, and also disruption break. So breaking an enemy shield with a weapon makes them more vulnerable to kinetic damage for a brief period. We've also got a couple of reasons why it's become in demand recently. So Bungie made a few improvements in the 30th anniversary sandbox update, and they are as follows. So first of all, we had a blanket 10% increase to PVE damage for all linear fusion rifles, which is very, very good, but not as good as the next update, because now Arbalest has intrinsic anti-barrier. Well, the fact that this one now has intrinsic anti-barrier means you're going to be ripping off the shields of enemies in Grandmaster Nightfalls or other high-end PvE content in no time at all. So anti-barrier champions, they're no longer going to be a problem, and this is even better than Ariana's Vow, as it only takes a single shot, whereas Ariana's Vow took up to 3. We also have disruption break on the weapon, so where you break an enemy's shield with Arbalest, the follow-up shots are going to cause even more damage. So given Arbalest is a kinetic weapon itself, that means if you tear off the shield on an anti-barrier champion, then your follow-up shots are going to cause even more damage, meaning the champions aren't going to be living for very long at all. Plus, we got that 10% flat damage increase in PvE content to all linear fusion rifles, and this is before taking into account the damage increase of particle deconstruction in Season of the Lost, and that is perhaps one of the best mods in the game right now, and the reason why you see so many fusion rifles and linear fusion rifles all over the game. Well, all of this is made even better by the Catalyst, and I'm going to get into that now. So first of all, let's look at how to get the Arbalest Catalyst in Destiny 2. Well, to get this one, you can get it from playing playlist activities like Strikes, Crucible and Gambit, although unfortunately it's down to RNG as to whether this drops for you, but it does drop in playlists, so keep grinding those out and eventually it will drop. So once you've got the Catalyst, level it up in the quickest and the best way possible for you, whether that's the Shuro-Chi checkpoint in the Last Wish raid or somewhere else where there's loads of enemies, just leveling up by getting kills with the weapon as soon as you can, as you're definitely going to want to get these bonus perks. Talking of which, let's have a look at what the Arbalest Catalyst does. So as well as the regular orb generation, you're going to get extra handling and increase to the magazine size, plus you are going to get Genesis too. Well, this means that when you break a shield, the magazine is going to be filled from reserves, and given these benefits, you're going to be wanting to get in that Catalyst ASAP. Well, next up today, I've put together an Arbalest Nightfall build for Season of the Lost. So this is what I've been using for Grandmaster Nightfall since the 30th anniversary sandbox patch, and it's been working pretty well for me. So this is mainly about the weapon combinations, but I have put together a few suggestions for subclasses and also exotic armor for each the Titan, the Hunter and a Warlock too. But you can always mix and match, just use what you like to use. Well, first of all then, here's a few suggestions for the subclass and the exotic armor. So for the Titan, I'm using a Top Tree Sentinel and also Helm of Saint 14. So Top Tree Void gives you a bubble. That can come in really handy in endgame PvE content, whether it's for you or cover for your fire team. And Helm of Saint 14 really helps with that, so you can blind any enemies who enter that bubble, plus it gives your allies an overshield too. Well, next up I've got the Hunters. Well, here I'm using Bottom Tree Night Stalker and Omnioculus, and this has been my go-to pick for Hunters this season, with the double invis grenades provided by Omnioculus. Plus you get those multiple arrows from your super, which can give you that really, really big damage. Finally, for the Warlock, I think there's only one choice, and that is Middle Tree Dawnblade. and Phoenix Protocol. So this combination are pretty much unmatched when it comes to utility in the game right now. So when you're running through Grandmaster Nightfalls or other high-end PvE content, you always need a well, and if you're always going to need one, it may as well be you. Well, next up, let's have a look at the weapon. So in the kinetic slot, I don't think anything else needs to be said about this one. It's Arbalest. So if you don't have it, then you can get it from Xur at the weekend when he arrives on the EDZ, Nessus, or in the tower when he's dishing out that exotic loot. It is a little bit confusing at the minute because he is involved in the 30th anniversary pack and the Dares of Eternity. So when I say go to Xur to get it, I don't mean on Eternity itself. It's when he comes around from Friday until recent on Tuesday. Well, in the energy slot, I'm using Wolftone Draw. So Wolftone Draw is a bow from Season of the Lost. It deals arc damage, and if you can get a roll with Explosive Head, then it's like a mini Trinity Ghoul. So you can get this one from Astral Alignment chests or Umbral Engrams. Well, then finally, in the power slot, I'm using Threaded Needle. So a good Threaded Needle with Vorpal Weapon is nearly unmatched in the legendary heavy slot at the moment, mainly due to the particle deconstruction mod this season. Well, lucky for me, I've got one with Rangefinder and Vorpal Weapon, so I really recommend you getting hold of Threaded Needle, especially with Vorpal Weapon. Well, finally then, let's have a look at the mods for the build. So I'm using Protective Light, so when your shields are broken you get an increased damage resistance. Elemental Charge, so you get charged with light by picking up Elemental Wells. I'm using Elemental Ordnance, so create Elemental Wells with grenades, and then Font of Wisdom, and it grants you a temporary significant increase to our super regeneration. Then you got Particle Deconstruction, so you get bonus damage to fusions or linear fusions, and finally Overload Bow and Unstoppable Fusion, and those final mods there are for the champions. So once you've put the build together, jump into some high-end PvE content, whether that's Legend, Master or Grandmaster Nightfalls, and you're going to breeze through that content in absolutely no time at all. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think about the buff to Arbalest and share your PvE builds with the community. Well, that is it for this look at Arbalest in Destiny 2, and as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, or you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the other videos on the channel. Well, thanks again. I'll see you soon.